Trọng Phúc chào đón quý khán giả đến với Việt News USA, một chương trình thiết thực cho mọi gia đình. Xe cộ là một phương tiện không thể thiếu cho mỗi người trong chúng ta. Tuy nhiên, khi gặp phải trở ngại vì xe hư dọc đường, còn người kéo xe cũng như sửa xe thì phải làm sao? Đừng lo, hãy gọi ngay Eric Auto Repair với số điện thoại 623 792 0896 623 792 0896 để được giúp đỡ nhiệt tình. Eric Auto Repair chuyên kiểm tra và sửa máy xe, chẩn đoán hệ thống đường truyền điện, máy nóng và AC, sửa và thay timing belt, hệ thống bơm nước, hệ thống điện, hệ thống phun nhiên liệu, thay máy, thay hộp số, thắng xe, bảo trì xe, hệ thống làm mát máy xe, sửa chữa hệ thống khói xe để check smoke, hệ thống làm mát máy, bàn đạp, ghiền sửa, thay máy và các hộp số các loại xe, sửa chữa body xe. Ngoài ra, chúng tôi còn có dịch vụ kéo xe miễn phí nếu quý vị sửa xe tại tiệm. Hãy gọi ngay 623 792 0896 623 792 0896. Eric Auto Repair tọa lạc tại 2117 West Camelback Road, Phoenix, Arizona 85015. Eric Auto Repair mở cửa từ thứ Hai đến thứ Bảy, từ 8 giờ sáng đến 5 giờ chiều. Chuyên nghiệp, tận tâm, uy tín, giá cả phải chăng? Thưa quý khán giả của Việt News USA, sống ở Hoa Kỳ, nơi được mệnh danh là thiên đàng trên đất, với sự kết hợp của các giống dân cùng chung sống và chia sẻ các ngôn ngữ, văn hóa, đem lại một sự kết hợp hùng mạnh khó có đất nước nào có thể sánh bằng. Tìm hiểu thêm về các cộng đồng bạn qua những con người thật, việc thật cũng sẽ giúp chúng ta biết thêm được nhiều cái hay, cái quý đáng học hỏi. Chương trình Song Ngữ, Cuộc Sống Quanh Ta với các khách mời là những doanh nhân, nghệ sĩ, thương gia, chính trị gia sẽ đem đến với chúng ta nhiều bất ngờ thú vị. Chương trình được sử dụng với 2 ngôn ngữ, tiếng Anh và tiếng Việt, và sự điều phối thật linh động, lưu loát của cô hướng dẫn chương trình xinh đẹp và tài giỏi của tiểu bang Arizona là cô Mộng Tuyền sẽ giúp các bạn trẻ thêm sự gần gũi với cộng đồng Việt Nam và cũng như những khán giả của Việt News USA biết thêm nhiều thông tin của cuộc sống chung quanh ta. Mùa xuân với trăm hoa đua nở. Và cũng trong chương trình hôm nay, Song Ngữ, Cuộc Sống Quanh Ta số 5, chúng tôi mời quý khán giả cùng đến với khách mời hôm nay là cô Ammy Gamez, Hoa hậu Teen Universe USA Latina 2022. Mời quý khán giả cùng chào đón người hướng dẫn chương trình, cô Tiffany Nguyễn và khách mời.
All right, well, welcome back to the program, Việt News USA audience. Really excited to have in our studio today, Ms. Ammy Gamez, the Teen Universe USA Latina 2022. That's a very big title. Kính thưa quý vị, cô Ammy Gamez là Hoa hậu Teen Universe USA Latina 2022. Một cái danh hiệu rất là lớn cho một cô gái 19 tuổi. I was just saying that you're 19 years old, of such a prestigious title for a young person
yes.
like yourself.
Thank you so much.
So Ammy, tell us a little bit yourself. This is the first time I believe I see you around this community, so the Asian Vietnamese community. So please share with us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you so much for having me, Tiffany. My name is Ammy Gamez. As she mentioned, I am representing Teen Universe USA Latina 2022. I was born to two Mexican parents, so I grew up in always speaking Spanish at home and English at school with my schoolmates. After graduating during the pandemic, I was also attending a trade school while I was in high school. So as soon as I graduated, I was also a medical assistant, and I began working at a local clinic close to where I lived. And at the same time, I started studying at university, and I am studying digital film production.
Wow, that's a lot. Let me just quickly translate it too for our audience, Vietnamese audience here. Cô hiện nhân là 19 tuổi, quý vị ơi, sinh ra trong một cái gia đình người Latina. Và khi mà cô học trung học đó, thì ra trường trung học thì rất tiếc năm đó là năm mà đại dịch bắt đầu 2020, thành ra một năm cũng không có nhiều phát triển lắm. Tuy nhiên cô vẫn đi học và cô vẫn là làm việc của mình, đó là trợ lý y tế. Và hiện nay thì cô đang để theo đuổi ngành học về sản xuất phim kỹ thuật số, và cô cũng có những cái dự án mà rất là hay mà chúng ta sẽ tìm hiểu sau đây. So there's quite a bit in your profile that I like to dive into a little bit.
Yes,
so why become a medical assistant? Was that something that you've always dreamt of and thought you'd be heading into?
Yes, when I was in high school, I loved the sciences, so I always spent extra time studying science, and I loved the idea and the ability, really, the gift of attending a school that would allow me to work in healthcare. And I took the opportunity as soon as I could. I might have been halfway through when I started studying, and I still love it today. I've met a lot of lovely patients.
That's wonderful. And then you said that you met a lot of lovely patients. Do you love your job, what you're doing right now as a medical assistant?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I've met people of all backgrounds. I've worked in neurology and orthopedics, and now I'm in oncology.
Okay. And then during also this past 2 years here, you've discovered a totally different world that takes you into more of like the arts direction.
Yes, absolutely. So with that, in my first semester still of university, I was asked to first compete in my state title, which was for Teen Universe Arizona. And so after receiving that title, I prepared for nationals and so on. And I loved the world that I was shown, because I did not have an arts program where I attended school. So meeting people like you guys and all like the beautiful team that goes behind it made me only reinforce those dreams that I had.
Wonderful. Thì khi mà cô học trung học, kính thưa quý vị, thì nghiêng về cái ngành gọi là khoa học nhiều hơn, và cô rất yêu ngành này. Hiện nay làm trợ lý y tế thì cô cũng rất là thích, cô thích những cái người bệnh nhân của mình, và cô học hỏi cũng như chia sẻ được rất là nhiều. Tuy nhiên trong cũng 2 năm trở lại đây thì cô đã được đưa vào một cái thế giới gọi là nghệ thuật, thì từ đó là vào cái con đường gọi là đi thi hoa hậu vân vân, và dẫn đến cái con đường mà ngày nay mà cô theo đuổi cái ngành về phim ảnh. So, who was the person that helped guide you into this new exciting world?
Well, I really need to say a lot of people. Well, my state director, her name is Jocelyn Soto, and her cousin, Mr. Hiram, he's here too. He helped guide me and taught me more about videography. My mother, of course, my family was a force that brought me strength when taking on so much newness in my life, and many others. Our co-director Sebastian, and including other models that I met along the way.
Có rất là nhiều người đã dẫn dắt và đã giúp em trên cái con đường này, kính thưa quý vị. Thì người ta nói là cái sự thành công thì ít khi nào chỉ có mình lắm, phải có nhờ cái sự hỗ trợ của nhiều người. Thì trong trường hợp của Ammy nó cũng là như vậy. So Ammy, do you know that when you were little that you wanted to head into this direction? You wanted to be in pageants and so on?
I really can't say that I was because, well, of course, my family, or my mother and like the females in my family now, we always looked up to the Miss Universe pageant and that system. Those were the only ones we knew about. I never imagined I could be part of one. And when I was from when I was little and through high school too, during the pandemic, I had to stop. But I volunteered in my church on their media team because they also live broadcasted just as you guys, and I would use cameras, and I would help direct sometimes, and so everything it started to grow, that passion, but I didn't think I could be a part of it.
And now you're actually on the top. Well, that's how I would describe it. You are on your way. You've won a prestigious title, and it looks like you still have a lot of passion for it. So, is it something that you are going to be focusing on for the foreseeable future?
Oh, absolutely. I intend to. Our international competition is this May for the first week. Well, from April 29th to May 5th.
Okay.
But I still intend fully after the competition, win or lose, to still carry the title with pride and pride for the community. I hope that to inspire and to still outreach and help in any way that I can.
Okay, perfect. And it was quite interesting because you lived here for most of your life, right? If not all your life. But then at home you spoke, you did not speak any English at all. Was it something that your parents wanted you to, abide to?
Yes, at least for us and in other families within my family, it was always traditional to only speak Spanish when being at home because of tradition. But of course, they knew in school and the rest of the world, we would have to learn English. So that's why we always practice Spanish at home.
Were you okay with that? Or did you? Okay.
Well, I mean, I didn't know. I didn't choose.
Nói tóm lại là ở cô này mặc dù là sinh ra lớn lên ở đây nhưng mà ở trong nhà thì toàn là nói tiếng Mỹ, không quý vị ơi, chỉ khi mà đi ra đường thì mới nói tiếng Anh. Thành ra so do you read as well
in Spanish? Yes.
Okay.
I have a couple books that are my favorites, but I typically, if I read, it's in English and for work, for schoolwork, and so forth. But yes, I read and write and speak Spanish.
That's wonderful. Và cô vẫn đọc được và nói được tiếng Mỹ rất là thành thạo, kính thưa quý vị. So what about at home food? What's your favorite food and who cooks it for you?
Oh man, so well, my mom has taught me to make this dish called albóndigas, and it's essentially like they're like meatballs, but there's a lot of vegetables mixed in within the soup.
Okay, that sounds amazing.
Oh, well, we can't forget about tacos, but everybody has
now I was going to ask, is tacos an American thing, but no, it's not.
Oh, yes.
What differences shall we look at when we say, oh, this is an authentic taco versus, an American-made version, like something I would eat?
Well, an authentic taco is probably made of either, it can be made of beef, but more traditionally it might be made of cow, chicken, or sometimes the head of cow, or stomach as well.
Nói tóm lại là ăn taco mà cái loại mà đúng vị đó quý vị phải là bao tử bò hoặc là đậu bò chứ không phải là thịt bò như là mình nghĩ đó nha. And what are some of your favorite authentic Mexican restaurants around here?
For me, this one is a little still more fast food on that side, but it's called Filiberto's.
Oh, I love Filiberto's.
Yes. And then my other one that's more authentic, I'd say, is called Tacos Calafia.
Okay.
And their tacos you feel like you're in Mexico when you eat them. They're so great. I really recommend them. They have a couple locations.
Perfect. We'll look it up. And then Filiberto's just around the corner. Never thought it actually could be called authentic, but I think it is. And then what is your favorite menu item there at Filiberto's?
I really love I think you would call them taquitos. Okay. But we called them flautas. Like those rolled crispy tacos with either potato or meat inside.
It's like egg rolls-ish. If we call it. Yeah, almost. Có một cái loại bánh ở Filiberto's nó giống như là chả giò vậy đó quý vị, mà theo cô này thì cái món đó ở đó ngon, thành ra nếu mà quý vị có đi Filiberto's thì thử cái món đó. Yeah, right. So I think I know exactly what you're talking about. I always get a burrito when I'm there. Great. Now, do you yourself cook? Or if not, what kind of traditions or things that you practice to keep your Latina roots?
Oh, thank you. So, like I said, my mom has taught me to make that soup. We've learned a couple, some other traditional soups that I've been learning to make over the years are, for example, pozole. It's one that they're all variations of grain and vegetables and some sort of strong meat, whether it's of cow or chicken. Another one is called, another one is, we call them aures, which is just mostly vegetables, but it still has that strong meat.
Wow. All right, and so you cook them, you prepare them for the family.
The one that is my favorite, though, is one called We call them almost like flautas. They're almost like a hamburger, or hamburger bread, but everything inside is like beans, pulled pork, and then other vegetables as well.
Nice. All right. You don't look like you eat a lot of food, but apparently you do. Now, are you are very tall. Is your mom and dad tall as well, or you're just one of those that just happen to be very tall in the family?
Well, my dad, I'm in between them, I'd say. So I'm a little taller compared to my cousins, but I think it's only because of my dad. He's the one that was just the random tall person in the family. So.
Nice. That's what you got from him. How many siblings do you have?
I have 2 older brothers. One is 31 and 26.
Tell us a little bit about them.
Okay. Well, the oldest one, he works with Wells Fargo.
Nice.
And he has a wife and 2 kids. And then my younger older brother, he works with Toll Brothers, which is a community building home.
Yes. Thì cô Ammy có 2 người anh, kính thưa quý vị, và 2 người này hiện nay thì cũng một người làm ở Wells Fargo, một người làm cho Toll Brothers. So, do you guys travel back home often?
As much as we can. The longest, well, for my parents, since they migrated, they spent several years gaining their citizenship so that legally, so that they could return safely.
That's right.
And once we were able to, we have visited about 3 to 4 times a year, and that's been very exciting to get to connect with our family and reconnect in the lost time of the pandemic. So
perfect. Now, are you doing anything active in the community back at home, or do you have the aspiration to?
I've always wanted to participate. Currently, my uncle owns a church, a local church in his community, and if I've gone, I've helped them sometimes. But since it's not often, I can't always plan those trips. Yes. But here, I really love my job and getting to help patients go through their visit. And so for me, I just want to inspire youth.
Bạn cần có cho mình một chiếc bánh cưới, bánh đính hôn, bánh sinh nhật hay chỉ là một chiếc bánh kem ngon miệng cho bữa cơm tối gia đình? Hãy đến ngay với Bamboo Bakery, tiệm bánh cưới Việt Nam đầu tiên và duy nhất tại Arizona, được vote best từ năm 2007 cho tới nay, với hơn 250 loại bánh kem dành cho mọi nhà như bánh kem sầu riêng hoàng đế, nữ hoàng pink champagne, mềm mại thơm ngon với bánh dừa kem Pháp, hay ngọt ngào đê mê với mocha. Hãy gọi ngay 602 246 8061 để có cho mình và gia đình một chiếc bánh kem tuyệt đẹp và ngon tuyệt vời.
To try to volunteer or help in any way they can, whether it's through a church or their school or anything related.
Perfect. Kính thưa quý vị, thì cô Ammy cô cũng có dành thời gian để mà làm những cái việc thiện nguyện. Thì riêng tại quê nhà thì khi mà cô trở về đó thì cô cũng giúp cho cái nhà thờ của ông cậu của cô, và cô cũng khuyến khích các bạn trẻ là ngoài những cái công việc hàng ngày của mình thì mình cũng dành chút thời gian để mà giúp cho những cái công việc thiện nguyện. So let's talk a little bit now that you have, your medical assistant job, and then you also have your company or a production company called Noon. What does Noon stand for? Tell us a little bit about that.
So when we were deciding on the name, we wanted to focus on it being time associated. We wanted to deliver punctually and at the earliest convenience of the client or the organization that needed their video. So I thought Noon was a great name for that. And some organizations we've worked with are, for example, one named Corella & Co., which is a local modeling agency that focuses on mental health. And a new one that I just met with a few very recently is called Phoenix Dream Center, which is a shelter here locally that focuses on bringing shelter and helping give people careers after they've suffered through trafficking in any way.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's big. And how do you select those 2 companies to be your, focus?
The first one is owned by my state pageant director, Jocelyn. So I got involved with them by modeling there through the scholarship she gave me so humbly. And after that, now I love helping to make these videos for them to promote as well.
That's perfect. Kính thưa quý vị, cái công ty mà cô hiện đang điều hành đó là cái mục đích là làm những cái thước phim video, và đặc biệt là cho những cái cơ sở, những cái nhóm gọi là giúp đỡ, có những cái công việc mà giúp đỡ người khác, chẳng hạn như là một cái cơ sở thì có nhà tạm trú cho những cái người mà thí dụ như bị traffic, buôn bán, mà gọi là buôn bán người đó, kính thưa quý vị. Đó là những cái nỗ lực rất là đáng kể của cô Ammy. So, which direction do you think you are gonna take in the near future? You're gonna be focusing more on, your production company, in pageantry, or more in the medical field? Which one is more important to you?
At this point, I cannot choose, they're all very important to me. Obviously, the medical field brings prestige in a way, but it's also very important to not confuse that with forgetting that it's for a good cause, and to always put those people first, because at the end of the day, those are the people that we're there for. We don't want them to just come in. We want to let them know we care about their situation and the help that they need. And as for my video production company, Noon, it's very important to me to get to also expose the organizations that are creating this help for others. So I think they go hand in hand.
That's beautiful. And now, if anyone want to get in touch with you to help, have a video created about their organization, how do they go about that?
Well, they can message me directly. I am very open to that. My Instagram is just my name. It's my last name dot first name, gamez.amy. And if not, from there you can find my page and our website, which should be up soon. So
very cool. Walk us through the production process. I mean, for to make a promotional video, for example, what does it take?
Well, it takes first getting to know the owners and getting to know what their purpose is, and really committing to getting to know all about it. So meeting people involved, and then once you make a meeting to get to know it, you can come back and decide how you'll work together and what they're looking for. So
it does take a while before you get to the actual filming part as well.
It can.
Yeah.
Depending on if it's someone you've worked with before, or if it's someone very new, but anything's possible. So
okay,
it's exciting.
Very cool. And now, do you have the dream of, say, going into becoming an actress, or move to Hollywood to do more movies and so on? Is that within your dream at all, or no?
My currently within the video production company, I am working, the one that I created, and I really have hoped for a long time that this would become something where we could produce more bigger production one day, like a film or something of that nature. As for acting or singing, that has not been very near to me yet, but just because, like I said, it's all still very new to me at the same time. So one thing at a time.
That's perfect, and you're still very young. You have a long road ahead of you, and I love that you are exploring things. You don't leave any opportunities untouched. You're taking them all and see how you can make it for better and part of who you are. So that's wonderful.
Right, thank you.
You're welcome. You answer questions very well. Was there a coach? Is there books that you read, or how do you get to be this articulate?
Oh, thank you, Tiffany. Mm-hmm. Well, you know what? I think the biggest thing is just getting to know people, spending a lot of time talking to people, get to know their background, because everybody's different, and adapt yourself a little bit to just being open to learning about a lot of things. And there you'll find yourself, I think, with people that you surround yourself with.
That's beautiful. Mộng Tuyền nhận thấy là cô mới 19 tuổi thôi, kính thưa quý vị, nhưng mà trả lời rất là khéo, rất là hay và rất là chính xác. Thì câu hỏi cô là cô học những cái điều này từ đâu, thì cô nói có lẽ đó là vì mình lắng nghe những cái người xung quanh, mình nghe, mình tìm hiểu, chịu khó tìm hiểu về họ. Thì từ những cái điều này mình sẽ nhặt được, và mình sẽ trở thành một cái người mà ăn nói mà theo Mộng Tuyền mà rất là chỉnh chu, kính thưa quý vị. So Ammy, other things here that I like to ask you, when you go on that stage and compete in a pageant, are you still nervous?
Oh, of course, everybody would be nervous, but
okay.
For me, what's helped me is to remember that the people who might be an audience or who are judging, they are people. They are excited to see you, and so therefore you should be excited to show them what you've learned and to show your presence, your smile. I think it's a great way to display your essence, because those are the qualities. Sometimes that good nature speaks more than a gown you might be wearing.
That's another beautiful answer there. So now, in the pageants that you've been through, was there any that you didn't win the most prestigious title? And then in that case, what do you tell yourself afterwards?
For example, I've competed in another one for my state title after, and in that one I did not win a good place either, and I just knew that everything happens for a reason. Sometimes it's not always necessarily you that's not right for the opportunity. Maybe they were looking for a different person. So to not take it so personally, but to always work to be better.
That's wonderful, great attitude. Kính thưa quý vị, mà mình có hỏi là thí dụ như mà khi đi thi mình lỡ mình không có thắng thì cô sẽ nghĩ sao? Cô nghĩ là mình cũng đừng có nên quá buồn, bởi vì có thể là mình không phải là cái người mà cái cuộc thi đó tìm kiếm, và mình cũng đừng có thất vọng quá. Ngược lại, mình hãy xem là những cái gì mình đã học hỏi được qua cái cuộc thi đó. Very great. Now, what are some of the questions that, you know, in beauty pageants that you've heard that you're like, I hate that question?
I have to say, I'm sure it would be a question that's maybe a little out of your hands. For example, like how you would inspire change to help the environment, or things that are so broad.
It's so big.
It's all about everybody inspiring and teaching, because sometimes it's not that people don't know. Sometimes it's a teaching thing.
That's right.
Just to have everyone do their part, because on situations like that, they're so broad and so large, and they really take even to the government to create that initial change.
That's right. And sometimes it seems very theoretical to answer that kind of question as well, right? Because like you said, it does not take one person. It's a whole program that has to be thought through. What are some of your favorite questions in pageants?
One of my favorite questions is, for example, how you prepare. Because when I ask other contestants or I have been asked, it's always fun to see everyone's journey. Everyone has it looks different for everybody, or another question is maybe a funner one, like what do you like to do in your free time and things like that.
Things that are more practical, and you have a precise answer to, not so theoretical like the other ones. I get it. Okay, so tell us about backstage of pageants. We've certainly seen enough movies, or I have, where it's like, oh my gosh, it's a mess back there. What has been your experience being backstage at these pageants?
Sometimes in movies, I know it's depicted a little more dramatic, but in terms of character. But in real life, it's exciting. I remember when I went to nationals, where the girls were throwing a dance party after they got done getting ready. Yeah. They were literally dancing, and I mean, the audience was hearing a different music, but I thought it was so funny, and I joined them, because why not?
That's great. And I'm assuming that you've made quite a few friends at those pageants.
Yes, it's exciting. It's difficult. Everybody lives in different places, but those few girls or women that you can connect to and keep in contact with is very special.
Okay. Who's your role model, aside from your mom? Because everybody revert to that, and she's my role model too.
Yes, exactly. My role model for me, I've always looked to Priyanka Chopra.
Yeah,
because she has overcome a lot and is really someone that embodies the accepting of so many cultures, and obviously her career was made not only from pageantry but because of that boldness, and that is something I really looked up to always, even as a younger kid, and I really respect all the connections she's made and how vastly she's broadened her career.
That's right. Tuyền có hỏi là cái người gọi là role model của Ammy là ai, thì cô nói thần tượng của cô là cô Priyanka, đó là một cái nữ diễn viên người Ấn Độ. Kính thưa quý vị, thì cô cũng bước ra từ những cái cuộc thi hoa hậu, nhưng mà sau đó đã bước vào điện ảnh của nước Mỹ, và sau đó nữa thì lấy chồng một cái người chồng là ca nhạc sĩ ở nước Mỹ, và she's happily, I think she's just and her husband just have a baby, right? Surrogate baby, yeah.
So exciting, yes.
So exciting for them. She certainly has made it, you know, this in America here, her place, and she certainly has a place in everybody's heart. I used to watch a TV series that she started as well. It was really good.
That's
perfect.
Great.
And it's wonderful. I find it refreshing that, you know, you find her, a person of different background than you are, to be your role model.
Oh yes, yeah. It's important to always look and to, like I was saying, take perspectives from many role models that are different from you, because sometimes they can teach you lessons that you weren't taught from your culture.
Yeah. Đó là một cái lời chia sẻ rất là hay, bởi vì Priyanka là người Ấn Độ, kính thưa quý vị, mà khi mà Mộng Tuyền được biết đó là cái người mà cô thần tượng của cô, thì cô nói cái lý do là bởi mình cũng nên nhìn phía ngoài, mình nhìn về nhiều người, và những cái người khác họ có những cái nhìn khác với lại cái nhìn của mình, những cái nhìn này mình cũng nên học hỏi và cũng nên tham khảo. Really good one. So beyond the pageant that's coming up here, what other pageants are you looking at? Where can we see you, the audience?
In the future, if I continued my way in pageantry, I perhaps would, prepare myself for the one that is the USA pageant. That's the one I've known the most of just since I was younger, because like I told you.
So Miss USA?
Yes, that's the one that is more local to, at least that my family knows about. So I think if I did prepare, I would try for that one.
And we'll be rooting for you. Cô ước mong là một ngày gần đây cô sẽ đi thi cuộc thi là Miss USA, kính thưa quý vị. And then of course from there on there's Miss World, Miss Universe, and there's quite a few where you can certainly test your abilities and meet more people for sure. Okay. Now looking in reflecting back, think of yourself maybe like, you know, when you're 90 to 100. What would you envision your legacy be?
Oh wow, what a beautiful question.
Yeah.
I would envision that I truly lived my life to its purpose, and that was to not only just, you know, show people that they could volunteer or that they could give their time to assisting others, but to have really taught them like face to face, and to have brought that to bring that realization to them, because I think that with youth, and even at any age that you're already at, to realize the impact you could have on somebody's life by giving some more of your time, like as you've told me to, that is really what will bring us and hold us stronger together within our own communities. It'll help us to feel less lonely, less vulnerable in such a world full of self-help. I think that we should unite and be always stronger together rather than only relying on ourselves.
That's wonderful. Và những cái lời cuối mà cô dành cho chúng ta là luôn luôn lúc nào mình cũng là một thành viên ở trong cộng đồng, và đừng bao giờ là mình nghĩ mình phải là một cái người duy nhất làm những cái việc. Mình hãy gọi là mở tấm lòng mình ra và nối kết với lại nhiều người khác, thì đó là qua cái việc đó thì chắc chắn là chúng ta sẽ cảm thấy có một cái đời sống ý nghĩa hơn. And last but not least, tell us about what kind of makeup you use. It's gorgeous. Brands, types. Our female audience will be swimming over this.
Thank you. Well, today I had my makeup done by a makeup artist locally too. Her name is Regina Valenzuela. Thank you so much, Regina. If you can ever come and watch this broadcast as well. Yes. She knows how much I appreciate her, and she is amazing. She used the foundation of Smashbox, and some of my favorites include Tarte products, because I know I just love the consistency of how great they stay on your skin, and I love how they make you glow too, and with the highlight. And I always recommend that. I'm a fan of really any lip gloss or any lipstick. I love them.
Ok. Ngày hôm nay thì cô đã dùng mỹ phẩm của Smashbox và Tarte, kính thưa quý vị, và ngoài ra thì cũng có dùng lip gloss, nhưng mà cô đã được một cái người bạn làm cho makeup. And what's the makeup artist names again?
Regina Valenzuela.
Regina, okay, perfect.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Amy, thank you so much.
Thank
it's
you,
very
Tiffany.
refreshing to have you here, and we wish you the best of luck. Definitely, we'll be looking out for productions made by Noon, your company, and then certainly everyone, you can follow her on Instagram at Gamez.Amy. Amy.
Yes,
that's right.
You.
I'll be following you. Not a
and
stalker.
I'll be following you.
Okay. Any last words you want to share with our audience today?
I appreciate your time so much, and thank you, David, for having me today. It was such a wonderful experience, and I hope to still follow your show, once it's after today, because I really loved your team.
Thank you so much, and have a wonderful night. Kính chào quý vị và xin hẹn gặp lại lần kế.
Tóc bạc là một vấn đề của đàn ông và phụ nữ ở độ tuổi trung niên. Họ phải nhuộm tóc thông thường 2 lần một tháng. Hầu hết thuốc nhuộm đều không phù hợp với tóc. Chúng chứa các hóa chất và có hại gây rụng tóc, khô da đầu, ngứa ngáy khó chịu. Nó cũng khiến chân tóc dễ bị tổn thương, từ đó ảnh hưởng đến sức khỏe của bạn. Đến với Priyanka giúp quý vị làm chậm tóc bạc. Priyanka hoàn toàn tự nhiên và không gây bất kỳ tác dụng phụ nào trên tóc và cơ thể bạn. Serum dưỡng tóc này biến đổi tóc bạc thành màu tự nhiên, giúp bạn làm mới mái tóc của mình. Priyanka điều trị các vấn đề về rụng tóc và thúc đẩy sự phát triển của tóc, ngăn ngừa hư tổn tóc, nuôi dưỡng tóc và trị cào. Priyanka làm cho tóc bóng mượt và sang trọng hơn. Priyanka không có tác dụng phụ và hoàn toàn hữu cơ, giúp dưỡng ẩm cho tóc. Priyanka trị tóc bạc và chăm sóc tóc toàn diện. Priyanka trị tóc bạc sớm, phục hồi sắc tố melanin, giúp tóc đen hơn, kích thích mọc tóc, ngăn ngừa rụng tóc, trị cào, nuôi dưỡng, giữ ẩm tóc, làm dịu da đầu, tăng cường tóc dày và khỏe mạnh. Hãy gọi ngay 916 666 0218, 916 666 0218. Priyanka trị tóc bạc sớm. Cảm ơn quý khán giả đã theo dõi chương trình Song Ngữ, Cuộc Sống Quanh Ta với Tiffany Nguyễn và khách mời. Chương trình phát hình vào mỗi tối thứ Hai hàng tuần trong khung giờ quen thuộc là 7 giờ PM giờ Arizona trên channel Việt News USA. Mọi đóng góp ý kiến cũng như tham gia chương trình vui lòng liên lạc với chúng tôi qua số điện thoại 602 481 2647 hoặc theo địa chỉ email info.vietnewsusa@gmail.com. Chân thành cảm ơn. Chúc quý khán giả có một ngày thật là vui bên gia đình và người thân. Hẹn gặp lại quý khán giả trong chương trình tới. Đừng quên bấm nút like, nút chuông để luôn theo dõi cũng như chia sẻ các chương trình của Việt News đến với mọi người. Have a great day. See you soon.